How's everyone doing? It's Chase. Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm bringing you guys a tier list for the newest season of Rainbow Six Siege. Now, this season's been out for a little bit, and I have been playing it a bunch. I'm actually really enjoying Siege again this season, so I felt it was time to release, the seasonal tier list that I always bring out. So, just a full disclosure, this is entirely my opinion. We don't have to agree on a single thing. Maybe you think Jaeger is the worst operator in the game right now. That's okay. Just be respectful down below in the comments to not only mine but other people's opinions. Let me know who you think is the most underrated operator down below in the comments. Also, go into the description. You'll find my Twitch. You can come hang out. You'll find my Discord, which has over 1,000 people always talking about Siege. And then, of course, my Twitter. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into my full tier list for Neon Dawn. Also, this is probably going to be a little bit of a long video. Normally when I do these tier list videos, they last a long time because, of course, if I don't fully explain it, people will get upset because I might not make a good enough point about their main. So let's go ahead and get into this. Also, if you see me look down here in the video, just know that I have a little bit of a reference that I made before I made this video as to what I'm going off of. That way we don't just kind of scoot along. So let's go ahead and do the tier list. So I always have started putting D tier instead of F tier because F tier kind of has a bad connotation to it, if that makes sense. People see that their main is an F tier, they get pissed. xGipson, you are a jackass, and that's understandable. So we're doing D tier because no operator in Siege is terrible. That's just the truth. You can use any operator and do good with them. It's just some are obviously better picks than others. For example, why are you going to take Tachankas when you can take someone like Wamai, Jaeger, Maestro, who is absolutely godly right now? So, all that out of the way, let's finally start the tier list. Been talking way too long. Alright, so I don't know why, but there's two Tachankas here, so we're just going to go ahead and throw them into D tier. Now, when Tachanka and his rework first got released, or revealed, I was like, okay, this might be overpowered as hell. He looks like a better Smoke. Him and Smoke together might be the best thing to ever come to this game. One of the best strategies, but no. He's not that good. He's just not. The incendiary grenades are very, very hard to land where you want them. The LMG isn't all that great because of how slow it shoots, while, Maestro's LMG shoots pretty fast. So there isn't really much of a upgrade here for the Tachanka rework, so sadly he is probably still the worst defender in the game. Let's go ahead, make people mad. Caveira is terrible right now. She has nothing going for her. She has no utility for the team. You can argue those impact grenades, but they're not going to do much. They're going to be used for her roaming. There's going to be people who play in silver and bronze and copper that are like, what do you mean Caveira is broken? And I understand that, but you got to realize once you get to higher ranks, Caveira will definitely start to dip off because you're getting up against teams that have very, very good communication. They're going to know how to play against a good Caveira, and so on and so forth. So Caveira is bad right now. For the next operator, Blackbeard. I'm always a real big stan of Blackbeard. I love Blackbeard a lot, and I normally put him B+ or B, but there's just not a lot of argument going for him this season. Once again, no utility to him. He's a very selfish operator. The shield isn't all that great. If you don't have the best aim in the world, don't use Blackbeard because you're not going to use it to your advantage. The thing about Blackbeard is you can be protected from basically 1 or 2 bullets as long as you hit the head first. And it's just not very practical anymore. It's not something you want to use when you can bring a whole lot more utility or fragging power to the team. And Blackbeard's still pretty slow, it feels like. So Blackbeard, sorry, I can't vouch for you anymore, man. Next operator, we're gonna go ahead and throw 2 up here just so we can go ahead and be done with this tier. And yeah. Finka and Blitz just aren't good, dude. I don't know why I should have to argue that. Blitz, can catch people off guard every now and then in high ranks, and you can definitely, maybe win a round or 2 with him because, people just don't know how to play against Blitz anymore because no one plays him. He's useless. As for Finka, I just don't see any point in using her once you get into gold. Once you get into gold, you should definitely know how to control your recoil. That's one of the biggest things for using her in lower ranks is the recoil control. And yeah, I don't see a very practical use for her once you get into higher ranks. Also, if you use her once you get into higher ranks and you're playing with people who know how to control their recoil and you hit that surge, people are going to be aiming at the floor while they're shooting. And that's not a good situation to put yourself in. So that's going to be it for the worst tier. Just trust me, guys. Don't pick these guys. You're hurting yourself if you do. Let's go ahead and get into the next tier. For starters, we got Amaru. What happened, dude? There was that one season where she was just absolutely broken, and it was ridiculous. And now she's back down. I think the biggest thing about Amaru is once you get inside, her gadget really becomes practically useless. That's really just how it goes. The G8's good. There. That's really all you got to do is say that her gadget's useless once you're inside, and you win the argument, because it is. There's no use for her gadget other than going to the top of a building real quick or going through a window real quick. Sure, you can argue the whole hatch thing, but how many times have you used that? I can probably count on 2 hands how many times I went through a hatch with Amaru and used it practically. Next operator, Frost. I mean, she's always going to be at the bottom. She's one of the worst trap operators in the game. Her gadget is very, very visible. People are going to comment down below, well, you wouldn't believe how many people I get in frost traps. And I understand that 100%. You know, you might see some success with her, but at the end of the day, why pick a Frost when you can pick other better trap operators for one, and then just other better defensive operators? Let's go ahead and do some others. Get some others out of the way. I love Oryx a lot. I'm sad that he's still trash after the T5 got added to his kit. It's just not good. It don't fit him. Well, it does fit him. However, the game don't fit him. You think someone who would just be a walking wrecking ball, roaming machine would be good, but it's not good in a practical sense. It's hard to explain. If you want to see more of that, come out on stream and just ask me about it, because I play Oryx all the time. I could explain to you every single issue with Oryx right now, but I would be here for like 15 minutes. So come out to stream and we'll talk about it. I promise. All right, next. I think this one's pretty obvious. Callie. She just doesn't have a place in Siege. Someone with that big of a sniper rifle, you know, bolt action, everything. It's just not meant for the game, dude. I want to see her succeed. People have suggested giving her something that's an automatic primary. That way you have a choice. But I just don't see that working either. I mean, her whole thing is being a huge sniper girl. So, yeah. Callie, I think, is going to be in a very rough place for a very, very long time. Who else are we going to throw up here? Let's go ahead and throw up our other man. Where is he? Glaz. Glaz is in the same boat as Callie. I don't think he is all that great right now. I think he definitely needs a secondary SMG. I think it would bolster him a lot. In this sense of a sniper, Glaz is 30 times better than Callie will likely ever be. All right, we're going to have 2 more go into this tier, and let's go ahead and throw them in now. Clash, she's terrible, as well as Fuse. It wouldn't be a xGipson ranking tier list if we didn't just trash on Fuse players, dude. Here come all the Fuse players in the comments after I rant for a second, saying, oh, well, I use Fuse and he's amazing. Fuse just isn't good, bro. He's not. He's loud as hell. He's, you know, clunky and slow. He does have the AK-12, so that's a redeeming quality. But the cluster charges, they're not it, man. You can hear when they're being placed. If you're a smart player, you know where they're going to go when they detonate. You get what I mean? Like, there's not a lot to him other than the fact that he can burn an ADS. And now that Jaeger is nerfed, there's no reason to use Fuse that way. Sure, you can make an argument that he's good for post-plant, but I'd have to go with Gridlock or Capital for that. So, yeah, Fuse terrible. Clash, just... shields just don't exist on defense, I don't think. You know, that's kind of funny. You know, a shield, in a sense, should be a great wall. It would be a good defense. but it doesn't work in this game as a defender, in my opinion. I just don't like Clash. I've really never liked Clash since her release. Let's go ahead and jump into bottom B tier. So bottom B tier is essentially middle of the pack, but they're the worst of the middle of the pack. B plus is middle of the pack, but they're the better of the middle of the pack, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and throw some up here. We're going to have Doc and Rook both in the same tier. I know this is kind of weird. I know a lot of people are going to get really, really upset that Doc isn't lower than Rook now that he has no ACOG, and I understand that. However, you cannot deny the fact that Doc's gadget is better than Rook. There's just like little cult of people who for some reason think Rook has the best gadget in the game. Like, it's not even funny. And for that, they're going to be in the same tier. Rook definitely has the sight and the fragging potential now, but Doc still has the better gadget. So let's go ahead and move on into some other operators. Ianna, for one, just she's not very good. You know, the last few seasons I've tried using Ianna. I think if you wanted to, you could definitely put her B+, but she doesn't really have a practical use in this game. She's going to be alongside someone who we're going to talk about in just a second, and she really just doesn't have that attractive of a kit all around. Her guns are the definition of average. Her gadget is all right. I mean, it's infinite drones, which is cool, and then she has frags and smokes. It's just the gadget that kind of holds her back, but not really. The gadget is helpful, but not too helpful. But the weapon kit is average, but not good enough, if that makes sense. So the secondary gadgets are absolutely insane. Like, good job. But, yeah, it's hard to explain with Ianna. She's just not in a good place right now. She's going to need a weapon buff or maybe a gadget buff, like a delay buff, here soon to kind of push her into the next tiers. But I do think she's balanced in the state she is. The next one we're going to talk about is the one that I was mentioning with Ianna, Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi is good. She's great. However, there's no point in running her. I think the issue I've always had with Dokkaebi is the fact that she just doesn't have an attractive kit. Her kit is not attractive at all. You don't really want to pick her because you're not going to be doing much. You're literally just going to be pressing a button, calling phones, letting your fraggers track them down, and kill them. You're going to be hacking the cameras. That is very, very detrimental. I know that's good. That is an insanely good gadget. However, weapon kit is absolutely terrible. I hate her weapon kit. It's the Baj G, which is a single shot slug. And then you have the MK14, which is, don't get me wrong, one of the best DMRs in the game. I'm just not a DMR guy. I know a lot of the Siege community isn't a DMR guy. And the secondaries on her are also terrible. But, yeah, I'm just not a big DMR guy, so maybe that's the reason why I don't like Dokkaebi that much. I've seen a lot of people beg and beg and beg UB to put an assault rifle or something like that on her, but I think it would make her too good. So let's go ahead and move into some others. Alibi. I always trash on Alibi. You know, it's not a Siege ranking video without me trashing on Alibi. She's useless. Anyone who has a brain can play against an Alibi. I see people all the time comment how Alibi is the most underrated defender in the game, and I gotta disagree. And I'm sorry about that, but she's just not good. I think one thing that they could do to make Alibi better is if you're leaning while you throw out her thing, her little hologram leans. If you're crouching, her hologram crouches. If you're prone, her hologram goes prone. I think that would be a much better idea. For the first season, it would throw a lot of people off guard, and then also you could make it to where people are holding little your holograms are holding little pixel peaks. That way, it makes it more, you know, maybe it is an Alibi, maybe it's a hologram. Who knows? I think that would be a good idea to kind of implement into her. Next, Ying. Where is Ying? Ying is good. However, she's kind of in the same boat as Dokkaebi and Ianna. She's just not attractive enough. Her primary LMG assault rifle thing, I don't know what you want to call it. It's weird. It's clunky. It's wonky. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. It don't feel like a gun. It feels like it's shooting 3D printed plastic. Her gadget, the Candelas, are very, very inconsistent. That's the thing that we've always had an issue with on Ying, is her inconsistency. One round she'll be absolutely insane. She will flash everyone on an objective. You storm the objective, kill everyone. Easy. Next round, you'll throw it right into the middle of all of them, and it won't flash them for anything. So for that reason, Ying, you're going to have to be in B tier. All right, a couple more I want to throw in here for a second. We're going to throw Warden into this tier, whereas Warden's good. I'm really liking the MPX with that sight on it, and I think here in a few seasons he could definitely bolster himself up to be B+ or A. Just the fact that he can be immune to flashes is a huge thing. I know we're not in a heavy flash meta, however, it's a good thing to have that. And then also the smokes. We're also getting into a little bit of a meta where a lot of smokes are being used. Therefore, of course, Warden's use is going to kind of skyrocket because that's his whole thing that he counters. The MPX is amazing. The P10C is amazing. The Nitro Cell on him, amazing. He has all the parts to go together. It's just we need him to be used in a lot more situations. And now that smokes are getting used a whole lot more to get the bomb down, you'll see him kind of grow as an operator and be better. All right, we got just two more that I want to throw in here. Actually, sorry. Yeah, actually two more. My apologies. We're going to have Lion. Lion is... I hate saying this. I'm saying this so much for this tier. Lion is in the same boat as Ianna, Dokkaebi, and Ying. There's just nothing that great about him, but nothing bad at all. If you want to play him, play him. But there's nothing great about him. The vector isn't that good. I said it. It shoots real damn slow. The gadget is good. If you have a coordinated team, you're doing a coordinated push, Lion is strong. However, the gun still sucks. The secondary gadgets still suck. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. Who was the last one I was going to put in here? I cannot remember. Brain fart. Ella. There we go. I had to check my notes. Ella. It comes down to the issue that the Scorpion Evo still isn't a great gun. I know it can slaughter. It used to be able to just murder everything ridiculously, but it isn't what it once was, which is sad. And then the whoopee cushion mines aren't either. I'm pretty sure they nerfed the noise that those things make. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they nerfed the noise and made it a little bit quieter, because those things used to go off and literally just be so loud that it wasn't even funny. You could hear them across the whole map, know exactly where the enemy was, pick up the free kill, move on. But I don't know, maybe it seems quieter. And I'm pretty sure they also nerfed the effect where it would slow down your sensitivity. I'm pretty sure they took that out of the game, so she's really gonna fall. I think if they give that sensitivity buff back, she could definitely be B+ or A. She's a really good roamer with a really good kit, like weapon wise. All right, moving on to the next tier. Let's go ahead, get right into this. We're gonna have Bandit and we're gonna have Callie. I know what people are saying. They're gonna be like, Chase, you should have these two operators in S tier. They are a must pick every single round. Well, we're getting more and more away from a utility based meta, which is weird. This isn't something that we've seen in a while. For a while, it's been utility dump, utility dump, utility dump, utility dump. And now we're getting in more to a frag-based meta, if that makes sense. And Callie and Bandit are going to slip a little bit. I still think they're, A, capable operators. It just comes down to it. Do you really need a Bandit or Callie every time? No, you don't. There are 5 other operators on defense that you can definitely use more than you can use Callie or Bandit. You don't have to defend a wall every single map. Sure, you could definitely put them into A. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move them into A just to, appease the masses, I guess you could say. So let's just keep those there, and let's move on back to B+, and we'll get back to Bandit and Callie here in a second. So we got some operators I want to throw in here. We got Monty, the best shield operator in the game, no doubt. He's going to be able to give you that protection and get you that bomb down, and he can watch over the bomb once you have it planted. Next, we are going to have Rooney. She is incredibly good when I first started playing this season, I was like, what the hell does she do? Because I did not cover this season at all on my channel, and you all know that. I disappeared for like a month. I love the Roni on her. A lot of people love the EBR, and once again, as I said with LAKEY, I'm just not a real big DMR guy, so I don't use it. But I'm having tons of fun playing her. I'm excited to see where she goes. I think it's too early to put her into an A or S or a C or D, so she's going to be right here in the middle of the pack tiers. Let's look at some other ones. For one, I want to look at Twitch. I don't think Twitch is that good anymore. You know, she's definitely getting back up there. However, she's still not great. The thing about Twitch is, for the longest time, she was a fragger. She was. Ubisoft wouldn't do anything about it. They let her remain a fragger. And now that Ubisoft has nerfed her FAMAS and kind of nerfed her utility down a little bit, she's kind of been put back into the area that she needs to be. She's balanced. She truly is. I think you won't see a lot of changes come to Twitch in the immediate future because I think she is very well balanced currently within the game. All right, next operator we're going to be talking about, Gridlock. Gridlock is an epiphany right now. A lot of people are hating Gridlock. A lot of people are loving Gridlock. A lot of people are in the middle of the road, kind of like I am. And I think Gridlock is great in post-plant situations. However, there is a better pick for this that we are going to get to later. Look at where my mouse is. Hint, hint. So that's all I'm really going to say for Gridlock right now. I think if you give her an angle grip on her F90, I think she does get a lot better. Let's go ahead and talk about another few operators. We have Castle and we have Pulse, you know, FBI bros. Castle is someone I love, okay? Let me just explain. People are going to be upset that, you know, I put Castle and maybe Gridlock in B+ here, but let me explain. Castle is so good on certain sites. He will win you rounds on certain sites. The reason he isn't higher is because he is so damn situational that you have to only play him on certain sites. As for Pulse, I think Pulse is one of the better roamers in the game. The Pulse trick is absolutely insane. I think it's one of the best tactics that you can use. So for that reason, Pulse going to be in B+ tier. Let me scan around, make sure I haven't forgotten anyone in other certain tiers. Just real quick, let me do that. Oh my god. I forgot two major operators all the way down in C tier. Alright, I'm sorry guys. Let's move back to C tier for a second. This is all over the place. I literally kept a little note sheet down here just so I know where to put operators. Alright, so the two operators I'm putting into C tier is going to be Nook and Zero. Sam Fisher just isn't good. I thought Sam Fisher was going to be one of the best operators in the game, no doubt, because of how he counters operators like Mira, and then Bandit, Kaid, and all of those. And he also has one of the best guns in the game because his F2000 is basically the AK-12. So I thought he was going to be insane. In practice, he's really not that good. As for Nook, just terrible. I can't believe I actually forgot her and traced over her. Nook definitely could be in D tier. She's that bad. But I'm not going to put her there because I'm a nice young fellow. Also, someone else we forgot was Capcan in B tier, lower B tier. Capcan, he's good. I like the 1.5x on his SMG. However, I want the damage back to his mines. I don't feel like his mines do enough damage to really count for much. I know once all those mines go off that it's enough to kill basically 2.5 people. However, not every mine is going to be ran into, and once they know you have a Capcan, you're really going to start to be weary of those traps. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Just forewarning, I was not paying close enough attention to my notes down here, obviously. Okay, let's move on back into B+ here, guys. I apologize once again. Let's look at some things. I think IQ is definitely B+. We've seen her used a lot, especially in Pro League, where Valkyrie is such a heavy nuisance. And then also to track out those Wamai magnets, track out those mute jammers, and things like that. And then another one I want to add to this tier is going to be Goyo. Goyo is still strong. I can't believe people don't believe that Goyo isn't strong. It's amazing. People actually commented on my last tier list and said, he put Goyo above Rook and Doc. What is wrong with him? Well, it's happening again, so I hope he commented again. I apologize. It's happening. Goyo can literally lock down the objective for like the last 15-20 seconds of the game. That's ridiculous. When he had 3 shields, he was the most broken operator. It wasn't even funny. It's all people would run in Pro League because they could just lock down the objective for the last 30 seconds and you couldn't get in because if you walk into the fire, you're dead. You're dead. There's no getting out of it. All right, let's move on into the final tier of our tier list. So let's throw some operators up here and I will explain each one. Buck. Okay, Buck and Sledge we will put together. Where's Sledge? Because they're basically the same exact operator. Some people are definitely putting Buck in S, or not Buck, Sledge in S tier, and I can understand that because Sledge does have a lot of versatility and those frag grenades. However, I like to keep them together because they basically do the same exact thing, just one has a better gadget while the other has a frag grenade. They do their job better than anyone else in the game. Their job is to just wreak havoc and open up everything, and they do it amazingly. I love them. They're great people, or great operators to pick up and just start playing. Great beginner ops, especially Sledge. I will always recommend to anyone starting this game to pick up Sledge and start him and main him because he is a great way to learn the ins and outs of Rainbow Six Siege. All right, let's move on into some others. We're going to throw up Jackal. We're going to throw up Legion. We're going to throw up Vigil. Who else? We're going to throw up Mute. And we're going to throw up Capital. And I feel like I should throw up one more. We're going to throw up Echo. All right. So these are going to be our final operators. Let me just explain these. So Bandit, Kaid, like I said, entry denial. Okay. Buck and Sledge, destroyers. Jackal, one of the best anti-roamers in the game, and arguably one of the best fraggers. The C7E is absolutely insane, and he can identify anyone on the map, anywhere where they are. So that's very, very helpful. He also has smoke grenades in that utility shotgun. Legion, what can I say? I've always loved this guy. The T5 is one of the best guns in the game. He has those little stingers. They're so annoying. You can't run with them in their foot. So late in the game, they can't rush. They do a little bit of damage. They're not as good as they used to be. I will say that. But, however, if you still have a keen ear and you're able to hear things and know exactly where they're coming from, Legion's a good operator for you. Vigil, one of the best roamers in the game. K1A is insane. Impact grenades. What much more do I gotta say? The gadget is very selfish. However, you get a lot out of Vigil because he is so good at taking on gunfights because of how much his K1A lines up against attacker assault rifles. Alright, Mute. He's basically in the same boat as Kaid and Bandit. It's just Mute does a little bit more things and doesn't actually destroy the electronics. Capital, I mentioned when we were talking about Gridlock. Capital is just a better Gridlock. And then Echo. Yeah, Echo has definitely fallen from S tier. Don't know why that is. However, I just haven't seen him used as much. He hasn't been used as effectively when he's not banned. He's banned all the time, which is annoying. So I can never play him because everyone knows I used to main Echo and I was really good at him. But Echo has dropped a tier. So let's go ahead and move all the final operators up into this tier because all of these operators are essentially must picks. Essentially. Alright. We are almost there. Oh, who could forget Recruit? Let's go ahead and throw Recruit up there because I know people will love that. Alright. So I know this is a lot of operators to have up here. So if you want to divide these operators, you can. Maybe move Mira down to A because of Zero and all these other operators that can counter Mira now being added in the game. Or maybe Twitch's prevalency going up so Mira isn't as good. I can definitely understand that. Let's look at some other things. You know, Recruit technically isn't supposed to be here. And then maybe you could make the argument that Hibana is the worst of the hard breachers, or that Nomad isn't required every round. So this is my final S tier. Ace, best hard breacher in the game. Ash, best entry fragger in the game, right next to Zofia. It's really just pick whatever you prefer. If you prefer fast, You know, obviously, Ashe is going to be your girl. If you prefer slow and steady and getting in there and getting out safe, Zofia is your girl. Jaeger, despite his nerf, is still a must pick. I don't care what anyone says. Him and Wamai together, after their nerf, is still incredibly, incredibly useful. Maestro is arguably the best operator in the game right now. If you disagree, I don't know what game you're playing. LMG on defense, 360 bulletproof orbital cameras that can take out any electronic in the game. Bailiff, I'm pretty sure he still has impacts. I'm not sure on that one. Do not count me on that one, chat. Maverick. If Thatcher's banned, pick Maverick. He's really good at doing that. Maverick tricking is one of the best strategies in the game. Melusi. Do I really have to talk? She can block off 3 stairways at one time. I don't care that they took the T5 off of her. The MP5 still works. Mozzie. He can hack drones for God's sake. Taking a Twitch drone is insane. It is incredibly detrimental to the enemy team because those Twitch drones, when used at a high rank, are one of the most important gadgets that you want to try to keep and preserve. Also, he's one of the better roamers. He can also do the Pulse or Valkyrie trick because he can put a drone and watch the drone and then hop off and hit the Nitro Cell. The Commando 9 and the P10 Roni are also 2 of the best guns in the game currently. And so for that, I love Mozzie. I know a lot of people are probably going to get upset that I have Mozzie in S tier, especially after he lost his Super Shorty. But I think Mozzie's back now. Thermite. Second best hard breacher in the game. I mean, he's a guy. You know, we got the hard breachers up here. Just go ahead and put them all together because they're obviously must picks. Smoke. What more do I gotta say? He's basically a better Goyo and a better Tachanka. He can block off the objective for the last little bit of time. He can kill the Monty. He can have so much utility. He has so much utility with that shotgun. And then he can kill people with the SMG-11. So what more do I got to say? Thatcher, do I have to explain it? I'm not going to. If you don't know why Thatcher's S tier, then we can't talk. Valkyrie, until it's key in Siege. You know, we've seen IQ kind of gain prevalency more now that Valkyrie is basically just tearing through teams. Valkyrie's strongest map is Consulate. Throw those cams outside, and you will basically get so many spawn kills that it's not even funny. It will end a round super, super quick. The MPX is really the only thing that's lacking on her, but even then, the MPX is still a good gun if you have good aim. Nomad, one of the best flank watchers in the game. I mean, that's literally what she was made for. She's a glorified flank watch. She's going to definitely help you out when trying to get down a Thermite wall or maybe an Ace wall or definitely a Maverick. So, yeah, this is my tier list. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about it. Sorry for the mix-up where I forgot to place Nook and Zero about a while ago. So, yeah, this is my actual official tier list. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Go into the description. Follow my Twitch. Come hang out. Play some games with me. Join the Discord as well. It has over 1,000 people over there. Follow my Twitter. And I will see you guys later. Peace.